Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Daily Analysis. NVIDIA continues to go up. How further high NVIDIA can go next week? And is there any risk for NVIDIA to drop next week? Let's try to answer these questions in this video. Starting with the daily summary, you see NVIDIA stock chart for today on your screen. NVIDIA opened at 1044. It made a high 1064. It made a low 1030 and it closed at 1064. That is 2.57% up. And last 5 days, you see NVIDIA went up 13.5%. And that's too much. And last 1 month, wow, 28% already. And it's still counting. And last 6 months, Nvidia up 120%. So good for those who still have Nvidia shares. Now, let's try to answer the question how high further Nvidia can go next week. I showed you this table sometime this week before the Nvidia split. You see, in the last 3 cycles, Nvidia went up as high as 24%. The first time the duration was 2 months, and the third time the duration was 1 month. So, based on this calculation, I made a comment that at least 10% NVIDIA can go up after the split. But there is no limit to the upside. But in my opinion, NVIDIA can go up as high as 24%. So, between 10% to 24% from the day the split has been announced to the day the split is going to be applied. So it doesn't mean that Nvidia will exactly go 24%. It can go anywhere between 10 to 24%. So how high Nvidia went up after the split? Let's calculate. So before the split announcement, you see that Nvidia was closed at 949. So from the time the split was going to be announced till now, Nvidia is already up 12.1%. Now let's try to answer the second question, that is there any risk or chance for Nvidia to drop next week? Let's take a look technical chart first to answer the question. You see 90-day hourly interval chart for Nvidia on your screen and also the MACD chart. You see MACD chart was going up since yesterday, very steep, similar to this one, but after reaching high, it started going down from yesterday afternoon. But there is one interesting behavior. Even if MACD line is going down, but see Nvidia stock price is going up. So you see the opposite behavior between the two. It was not the case in the past. In the past, most of the time, we see MACD line goes down, the stock price also goes down. See here, and also notice down stock price, and the MACD line is also going down. Same thing here. But here, from here to here, we see a very different behavior. So this tells that Nvidia went up too high in a very short interval of time. And this also tells that there is a strong positive momentum at this point that is taking Nvidia further high. Let's take a look 30 minutes chart. So 30 minutes chart is also showing the same behavior, but it started going up, right, in the short term. So that makes sense to me because it started going up as well from here after having some consolidation. So now let's take a look RSI. RSI in a 30 minutes chart is at 73. That is slightly overbought, but not too much. That tells that still there is some room for Nvidia to go further up in the short term. In the hourly interval chart, RSI is at 74, no big difference. So same comment that in the short term, Nvidia may go further high. Now let's take a look Fibonacci levels. So you see the Fibonacci levels starting from 0% to 100%. I selected my lowest point is 834 and the highest is 1065. So as of this point, the next level of support is at 1031 and after that is 1010. So if Nvidia drops next week, it should try to go and test this 1031 level. And that should be another good point to buy until the actual split happens. And after that is 1010. So based on the technical charts, I still see the positive momentum on Nvidia for next week. So I do not see any big risk at this point that can take Nvidia down big time. But before we jump to conclusion, let's take a look economic data. You see the economic calendar on your screen. So as I mentioned yesterday, there is not much data coming early next week. The next big thing is happening on Friday, that is PC index or the inflation data. So I'm guessing on Wednesday and Thursday, we'll see some kind of volatility in the overall market. That can take Nvidia down as well. So I guess that will be a good opportunity to buy more Nvidia if that happens until the actual split. So even if market goes down next week because of the inflation data, I do not see Nvidia go down big. Or in other words, I do not see Nvidia go down below 1000. And that's the worst case. Now let's take a look news regarding Nvidia. So I see most of the news positive regarding Nvidia. For example, the very first one that says Nvidia's stock split will add volatility. So this makes sense, but I'm guessing rather than volatility, I'm seeing more positive momentum on Nvidia. So another good thing is S&P 500 is up today. You remember S&P was down yesterday because of the Fed minutes meeting and they showed some concern. But good thing is S&P 500 already digested that bad news. You see S&P up 0.7% today. And also Nvidia and the tech stocks taking Nasdaq to go further high. This is good. You see another two price targets increase for Nvidia. One from Barclays, that's from 1100 to 1200, and also from Goldman Sachs, 1100 to 1200. But one thing I see that's not going to help Nvidia is this one. That's from market chatter that says Nvidia faces weak demand for China chips amid Huawei competition. So more and more competition is expected in China for Nvidia. Let's take a look. Oh, that's not good. So you see, in China, as of now, Nvidia has 17% of its fiscal 2024 revenue. That's big. So if more competition happens for Nvidia in China, that won't be good for Nvidia. And they'll have to enter in the price cut game, just like Tesla. You see, Tesla from 2016 to 2020 was going up like crazy and everybody was buying Tesla. But after 2020, and 2021, Tesla went down and is still under pressure. And Tesla continued to do the price cut to beat the competition or to gain more market share. So same thing might happen with Nvidia as well in the future, not in the short term, probably 1 year from now, more competition and more price cut you will see on Nvidia that will impact its earning per share. We already seeing the earning per share surprise going down each quarter. So I'm guessing 2 or 3 quarters or 4 quarters from now, Nvidia might come into the consolidation mode, similar to Tesla. I guess that's all about news regarding Nvidia. I do not see any other news that we should be spending time. Now let's take a look other AI stock. You see, most of the AI stocks are positive today, starting with SMCI 4.3% up, and then AMD 3.7% up, NVIDIA 2.57% up, and so on. We see Amazon is negative closing today, but that's not a big deal. I guess it should bounce back sometime next week. I also have some shares for Amazon. So if it goes down further, probably around 176 or so, I will buy more Amazon. And that's all for today regarding NVIDIA analysis and assessment for next week. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more tomorrow. Take care.